Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week we've got the Gamo Coyote Tactical on test. But first, I'm out trying to bag some bunnies off the bipod. Right, we're out trying for a few rabbits this evening. Now, I'll start out with a bit of a walk around, but to be honest, they're pretty wary around here, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we end up having to wait it out and ambush them. So I've got the bipod on, and I've also got the scope cam on here, which I'm hoping will enable me to demonstrate to you the extra stability that that bipod gives me. So we'll give it a go and see if we can bag a few. With nightfall just a few hours away, rabbits should be venturing out to feed on the grass, and it's not long before I spot the first one. The rabbit's close and on full alert, so I go for a freehand shot, not my favourite stance, rather than the rock-steady bipod shot I was hoping for. Well, fortunately that one was pretty close because it wasn't an easy shot through the scope cam. It also wasn't a very good demonstration of the stability of the bipod because I had to take it freehand. However, it's got us off the mark and we've got one in the bag. It may not have been the steadiest of shots, but the pellet caught the rabbit just behind the eye, resulting in a good, clean kill and getting the session off to a promising start. Right, there were actually a couple of rabbits out there when I came round the corner, and although it may have been somewhere that was worth setting up an ambush and waiting for them to come back out, there are too many long tussocks here. I wouldn't be able to shoot over the top of them, so we'll move on and see if we can find somewhere else. I actually saw a couple of rabbits run in as I came into this field. It looks like the sort of area, the grass is relatively low, so the bipod should really come into its own. I'm going to set up here, fingers crossed those rabbits will be back out for another nibble at the grass. The extendable legs on my Bisley bipod come in very handy, providing vital height to help keep shots clear of any longer stems of grass. Shooting from the prone position will keep me below the skyline, but I still decide to wear my camo head net for added concealment. Then it's just a matter of making myself as comfortable as I can and waiting for the rabbits to come back out. Patience is usually rewarded with this sort of approach, so you have to put the discomfort to the back of your mind. Just as I'm starting to get fidgety, something catches my eye. Well, there was one out then. It was out for quite a while, but I was messing about trying to line up the shot through the scope cam. It's run in and I've missed my chance.
Time spent faffing around with the scope cam cost me a shot there. At this point, I'm thinking about taking it off and leaving the filming to Nikki. But I leave it on and another chance eventually comes my way. Even with the bipod legs at full length, the shot is hampered by long grass. I try a squeak to make the rabbit sit up, but it doesn't budge. I'm going to have to take this shot very carefully.
Right, well that was a pretty tricky shot, but I've got that one in the bag. Hopefully it also proved the point of just how much of an advantage it was for me there having the stability of the bipod. It's probably just over 30 metres. Blades of grass blowing around in between the muzzle and the rabbit. I did actually try and give it a quick squeak at one point to try and get it to sit up, but in that long grass I got a feeling it was already sat up. So I had to literally time the shot until the grass was blown out the way, had the crosshairs exactly where I wanted them already, touched off the trigger, and that one's fallen to a nice clean headshot. I'm using the Bisley swivel rifle bipod this evening. Now, this one's the 6 to 9 inch version. You can get longer ones, but to be honest with you, I like this compact model because it's very lightweight. You can leave it on the gun while you're stalking around, but with the legs extended up to 9 inches, it's long enough to cover most applications when you're shooting prone. It'll get you over most tufts. A feature I really like is the swivel function at the top, which means you can rock the gun from left to right. You've got plenty of play there, so you can always keep the gun dead upright. You're not getting problems with cant if you're on a sloping surface. What's really handy is the fact that it's got this lock-up on it. So if you swing it this way, you've got much more play. It's very free in there. Push it back round to the other side, locks it right in. You know that's not going to go anywhere. Really useful little bipod. Right, we've given it quite a while here. I don't think anything else is going to venture out. So I'm going to move on, pick up that rabbit and try another spot before we call it a night.
Another good headshot and another rabbit cleanly killed right where it was standing. I'm pleased to have 2 in the bag, especially during a daylight session, but would certainly like to add 1 or 2 more.
Of course, another great thing about the Bisley bipod is it's got a quick release attachment on it, so I can clip on my sling and wear the gun on my shoulder.
After trekking across the fields, I've arrived at a spot that I know is usually good for a rabbit or 2. So, it's on with the usual drill. I put on the head net to help keep me concealed by hiding my skin, then settle down to wait.
Right, it's quite a productive bank here. It's a fairly busy warren. They tend to come out of the hedgerow onto the closely cropped grass to feed, so fingers crossed we'll get another chance before we try to wrap it up. One thing I am going to do is whip off the scope cam, so I'm not messing about with that if I do get a chance.
You do have to be prepared to put up with a bit of discomfort for this sort of ambush to work, but it's worth it when it goes to plan. When rabbits venture out, there's very little chance of being detected because there's hardly any movement when you go to take the shot, and that shot should be a very stable one, thanks to the bipod.
Well, I hope we got that one, because obviously I didn't have on the scope cam, but it certainly made the shot a heck of a lot easier. That one takes us up to 3, and it's really all we've got time for. And while it's been an enjoyable afternoon, it's not really the bag size that I would have hoped for. Now, the evenings are starting to draw in, with the days getting a bit shorter now. I'm really looking forward to coming back again, either with a lamp or with night vision, and making a much bigger impression on those rabbit numbers. A few rabbits in the bag there, eventually, and now it's over to the Airgun Show news.
This is the Airgun Show news, brought to you by the Airgun Centre. Airguns are set to feature in Basque's rescheduled charity shoot in aid of Forces charity Help for Heroes and Basque's Young Shots programme. Sponsored by Derbyshire's estate agents, with support from Batten Solicitors, the event will take place at Cricket St Thomas near Chard in Somerset on the 5th of September. The shoot will include a 50-bird sporting clay layout and a 3-man flush with cash prizes, plus shotgun instruction for newcomers. There will be several airgun ranges and a chance to win a BSA Comet Evo. The Airgun Show's Matt Manning will also be on hand to answer your airgunning questions. Gates open at 11 AM with last entries on the clay shoot at 4 PM. For more information, contact Basque Southwest Regional Officer James Green on 01884 260 910. But if you can't wait until then, Basque Southwest is holding a country sports activity day for young people on the banks of Lake Wimbleball near Dulverton, Exmoor, on the 16th of August. Activities include air rifle and clay shooting under the supervision of Basque accredited coaches, plus a bushcraft session run by Southwest Lake staff, fly fishing instruction with Wimbleball's guides, and gun dog decoying and deer stalking skills. Places cost just £25 and Basque will supply all equipment. All you need to take is lunch and appropriate clothing. Contact Basque Southwest on 01884 260 910 or southwest@basque.org.uk to book. Taclight is offering a half-price deal on Venom Strike illuminator kits as part of a bundle deal. The adjustable high-power illuminator extends viewing distances out to 200 meters, making it ideal for long-range spotting and also helps to prevent IR whiteout when dimmed down. Normally costing £95, the Venom Strike gets a 50% discount when bought with the £400 Yukon Photon XT 4.6x42 night vision unit. And finally, time is running out to claim a reduced rate for the CLA Game Fair. By pre-ordering your ticket at the biggest countryside event in Britain before the 20th of July, you could save £5 off the cost of each ticket, which could be a substantial sum if you're taking the whole family. Visit gamefair.co.uk or call 01684 291 868 to order yours. That was the Airgun Show news.
We tested the wooden version of the budget-busting Gamo Coyote about 6 months ago, and it fared brilliantly in tough conditions. This week, we've got the eye-catching tactical version on the test bench. It's still a very affordable airgun, so let's see what you get for £399. The standout feature of this Coyote is the black synthetic stock. Apart from being a very tough ambidextrous handle that's been built to withstand the knocks and scratches of unforgiving field use, it also looks good and has been designed to incorporate some very clever features, including an adjustable cheek piece which helps to ensure that your eye is perfectly aligned with the scope and also complements the gun's tactical styling. The forend has a nice chunky feel to it and features stippled rubberized inlays on both sides to improve grip. The same inlays are present on both sides of the pistol grip, behind which is a large thumb hole cutaway which makes for a really comfortable hold. The soft rubber butt pad features the removable inserts you find on some of Gamo's spring-powered airguns. Although not essential on a non-recoiling gun, it certainly feels a lot softer in the shoulder when you take them out. The engineering is tidy, and the long, uninterrupted scope rail means you can mount your scope nice and low to the barrel without having to worry about a protruding magazine getting in the way. The black finish of the breech really suits the synthetic stock and also has an air of quality about it. This Gamo may be made in Spain, but it certainly doesn't feel like a cheap import. Gamo has very close ties with BSA guns, and that's certainly apparent in the design and build quality of this airgun. Weighing in at just under 3.5 kilos unscoped, the Coyote Tactical is going to be manageable for most shooters. It comes with a Whisper Maxim silencer, and although that nudges length up to 110 centimetres, it still doesn't feel at all unwieldy. And that silencer is a brilliant addition. It improves the gun's looks and does an excellent job of muting muzzle blast. Filling the Coyote is very simple. Just pop the dust cap off the front of the cylinder and push in the quick fill probe, and you're ready to fill either from a diving bottle or pump. From a 232 bar fill, you can expect about 90 shots at just over 11 foot-pounds in 177 caliber, and it'll do about 110 in 2.2. Keeping an eye on air reserves is simple. It's just a quick glance at the gauge at the front of the cylinder. The 10-shot magazine is the new synthetic model found on top-end BSAs. They're colour-coded, blue for 177 as in this case, and red for 2.2. They're also numbered so you know exactly how many pellets you have left in the clip, and there's a small white indicator to signal when you're on your last one. The magazine rotates under spring tension and is cycled by pulling back the chunky rear bolt, which also cocks the gun. Push the bolt forward and it probes a pellet into the breech, ready for the next shot. The system is smooth, fast and reliable. The safety catch is manual and resettable. You push it back to make the gun safe and then nudge it forward when you're ready to take the shot. It's very positive, but I'd have preferred it further away from the trigger. The Coyote has Gamo's new CAT trigger system. I really like the profile of the blade, which sits very comfortably against the finger. Okay, it isn't metal, but then I can see that that probably doesn't make a massive difference in practice. It's a two-stage adjustable unit, and although there is some creep in the second stage on the test gun, it's still predictable, and I reckon if I took time to tinker with it, I could make it better still. So that's what the Gamo Coyote Tactical has to offer. I'm going to get it onto the range and see how it shapes up. Well, you can't argue with that from an airgun that costs less than £400. It's a slightly breezy day today, but I wouldn't go quite as far as to describe it as blustery, yet the 177 caliber test gun has turned out a 5-shot group of within half an inch at 25 metres. The Coyote has a hammer forged barrel, and I don't doubt that that's played its part when it comes to this gun's accuracy. This airgun didn't disappoint the last time we had it on the test bench, and I'm even more impressed with it in its tactical guise. It's still an affordable airgun, yet it gives the kind of performance I'd expect to encounter in a significantly higher price bracket. That fixed silencer hushes muzzle report down to a mere whisper, and combined with its accuracy, is likely to make the Gamo Coyote Tactical a popular choice with serious hunters. That's all for this week, but we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits you could be enjoying through Airgun membership.